What is going on? Alright, how you guys doing? This is a video I did not think I would ever have to make in my lifetime, but apparently I do. So basically the other day, as I'm sure you've heard if you're on the internet or anything like that at all, you know that the FCC decided to repeal net neutrality. Now for those that don't know what net neutrality is, basically it treats the internet as a utility, meaning that companies like AT&T, Time Warner, Comcast, these ISPs and internet providers, they need to treat your internet equally. They cannot say, oh, we don't want you to go to Netflix because they're a direct competition to what we do. That can't happen. Everything needs to be fair, and the government is there to regulate that sort of stuff. The people against net neutrality say that government regulation is bad for an open market, and that if you freed away the internet regulations, that things would get better. So there's both sides of that argument. Yesterday, the FCC decided to, in a 3-2 vote, go ahead and get rid of net neutrality. Now, it's not completely gone, right? It still has to go through the courts and that sort of stuff, so it's not like they can just say, by the way, at 12 o'clock yesterday, our vote's done and net neutrality's gone. It's essentially that way, but there's some political rigmarole in there and whatnot. Basically, the FCC chairman, Ajit Pai, I think is how you pronounce his name. He did a Fox News interview right after this thing happened, and now this is also going to address, as you can see with the title, Jimmy Kimmel, the late night host, did a video on pretty much saying everything that I've said, that it's a pretty stupid idea for you to get rid of this. But that is besides the point. I will shut my mouth now, and we can go ahead and do a little reacting while watching.
The FCC did something absolutely despicable today. They voted to put an end to net neutrality.
Yeah,
now,
they did.
This is the rule that says everyone gets equal access to the internet.
That's what I said. Good point,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
A company or somebody selling crocheted owls
Hey,
from their
I like crocheted
house
owls
in the Midwest. Now, as long as they tell us they're doing it now, internet service providers will be allowed to slow down or block web traffic to any website.
You're a smart man.
Streaming service.
Good looking too.
Which
wow.
benefits the big telecom
You're 50,
companies
really?
And does the opposite for all of us. I just want to say thank you, President Trump. Thanks to you and this jackhole.
Oh, okay. Let's pause right now. First of all, this is the idiot we're talking about, right? This guy with the fake teeth. Yeah. This is the loser that we're talking about here. Now, to the statement of President Trump, I know I'm going to stop and start this video a lot, but I really want to make sure that I give as unbiased as I can with this. Basically, President Obama, when he was in office, he signed an executive order basically allowing this, right? And what President Trump has done is, in his quest to get rid of everything Obama did, has pushed this forward and has appointed this dummy with the fake teeth. Those are fake teeth, by the way. I think they are. They look fake, right? Like veneers, maybe? Maybe this guy has really good dental care. I'm off topic now. I'm sorry. That's way beside my point. I don't need to attack this man personally. Basically, the FCC is comprised of 3 Republicans, 2 Democrats, as I know it, and they voted right along party lines. Basically, if you want to over-summarize things, the Republicans decided to end net neutrality. That's a really oversimplification, but that's a way that I can put it to you.
The FCC. Big corporations are about to take full control of the internet. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
That's comedian Jimmy Kimmel turned spokesman for Chuck Schumer.
He did turn to a spokesman. You're right.
And calling out the FCC
Look at this guy.
after
Why am I
voted
staring
to
at your
overturn
crotch?
an Obama-era internet regulation known as net neutrality.
The move causing some on the left to paint an even dire picture with a CNN headline reading, quote, "End of the internet."
Now, here's a thing that I also want to stress. I know, I'm sorry I'm stopping this, but I do not want this to come across as a, political party line as much, because Republican or Democrat, some things you can kind of look at, like your power. You should have power, right? And you shouldn't be charged out the ass, especially if there's only one power company in town. I don't think you need to be a Republican or a Democrat or anything in between to decide that, but people tend to take a political stance nowadays.
As we know it. So
what a
is it
statement,
the
by the way.
end
That's a
of the
heavy-handed
internet?
statement.
Well, let's talk to the chairman of the FCC, Ajit Pai, joins us from our
Ajit
nation's
Pai.
capital. Ajit,
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I know yesterday when it was repealed, an exciting day there at the FCC. Somebody called in a bomb threat, and there were all sorts of worry. What is Jimmy
Okay,
Kimmel?
no, don't call in bomb threats, boys and girls. Like, listen, it's one thing to be upset, and even despite the fact that like 85% of people didn't want net neutrality to be removed, and the people that wanted it removed, like 2 million of them were actually like fake dead people. Like, you just civil discourse is a huge thing to stress here, but people were up in arms about this.
What's he getting wrong about this?
He's getting everything wrong about it. The free and open internet we had prior to 2015 is the one we are going to have going forward. And that kind of
Timeout. I know. Listen, I can feel you getting angry at me. You just want to hear this guy talk. I know. Here is the important thing that a lot of people bring up, and it's a point that they really do not understand. Prior to 2015, when this was put in, everyone was like, oh, well, the internet was free then. Why wouldn't it be free, forever? You need to understand two things. First of all, the years before net neutrality, the internet was a very new place, right? It'd been around, but it was gaining a lot of traction very quickly, especially around the mid-2000s with inventions, iPhones, especially when they started being able to handle the internet. YouTube, streaming services like Netflix come along, and they start taking up more and more of the internet. Now, in 2015, if you recall, Netflix had a huge thing where companies like AT&T and other big ISPs were getting mad and starting to throttle Netflix. Basically, they wouldn't allow you to load Netflix videos in any resolution or in low resolutions in some cases. And Netflix basically made a thing about this, saying that, listen, you can't just throttle us because you want to. And the ISPs actually went to court. People like AT&T, Comcast, these guys went to court, and the courts, Supreme Court, I'm pretty sure they deal with a lot of that stuff. They decided that, in fact, AT&T should be treating Netflix the same as everything else. And a big argument on AT&T's side was that, well, we have all the infrastructure, all the costs is associated with us, so they should be paying us more. And since then, I think Netflix did make a deal where they pay a significant amount more to people than they used to. But that's just a statement there.
name-calling and hysteria is disappointing, but it's not surprising. Those who've
It's a
said
fair
the
response.
internet as we know it is about to end have been proven wrong starting this morning as people send emails, check on their Twitter accounts, post on Facebook and the like. We have a free and open internet going forward.
Well, hang on. This repeal was enacted yesterday. I don't think it would be very wise, especially with 85% of the world up in arms about it, if AT&T then turned around and said, hey, by the way, net neutrality's gone. If you want to see these tweets, $1.99 a month or whatever it would be. So I think that statement of, if you were going to see change, it would have happened right away. That's completely falsified, and that's a stupid argument in my eyes.
The FCC and the FTC going forward are going to make sure that happens.
Ajit, boil this down for us, because it feels complicated, because one says net neutrality looks fair and equal, yet what you've done has opened it up, as you said, to a free and open internet. Simply put, what are people missing? What does this boil down to?
What it boils down to is, should the government micromanage how the internet works?
Yep.
For 20 years before 2015, starting with President Clinton, we decided no. We wanted to have a free market approach in which innovators could innovate and consumers could benefit. And the results speak for themselves.
The internet was
Companies
much
like
smaller
Facebook
back
and
then, by
Amazon
the way.
and Netflix and Google became global giants precisely because the government wasn't involved. That is the light touch framework to which we are returning, and that's part of the reason why I think so much of this hysteria is simply misplaced. As we will see going forward, getting this regulatory system right means better, faster, cheaper internet.
I'm sorry, I gotta stop. Better, faster, cheaper internet is a silly statement when a lot of, if I'm looking at the United States, because obviously I live in the U.S., a lot of people only have one option, Ajit. Only one. Are you looking at me right now? One option. So this statement of better, faster, cheaper internet on the basis of, well, if this company's fucking you over, then go somewhere else, this free market thing, that doesn't work if there's only one game in town, right? And also, can I just say, never mind, I shouldn't, I'm trying to be a fair, balanced person, but this, just what you're saying to me, it's a different world, Ajit. It really is, net neutrality was not the only reason that Google succeeded, right?
So all Americans across the country.
So I heard earlier that 30% of America only has one choice when it comes to their internet choices.
I'm
so
sorry, I
mean
jumped
that
to
those
it.
They're not going to start raising rates on those families, are they?
Two different points. Number one, to the extent that lack of competition is an issue, and I've seen that for myself in parts of the country, the solution is more competition, not heavier government regulation that makes...
Okay. Whoa. Ajit. Your statement, as I recall, just now. Just have more competition. Right? Okay. AT&T board executive here. Do you know what we could really do? Let's just have more competition. Right? Fuck being the only game in town. How about more people just expand everywhere? Yeah. Okay.
Makes it even harder for new competitors to enter. Number two, as I said, the FCC and the Federal Trade Commission are going to continue to be cops on the beat. So if there's any company, any internet
Cops
service
on the
provider
beat,
that
wow.
acts in any competitive way, we will take action.
What are you going to take action with? If you say, by the way, this one semi-law that we had that really let us enforce this, we just took it away. Now are you going to write a fucking tweet? Are you going to write a tweet, a 240 character, whatever it is now? Are you going to write, at the official FCC, we really hate the fact that AT&T is making you pay more for your internet. They should stop.
Okay, here's what
This
I
is
want to know.
silly.
Is my internet going to slow down? What I'm paying right now, I'm okay with it, a little high, but is it going to slow down? Will I be able to pay for more? What's the deal for me, the average consumer?
And look, here too, I think there's been a lot of misinformation.
Tell me.
Think about how far we've come from the 20 years starting in 1996 until these rules were adopted in 2015. We went from 28K modems and AOL CD-ROMs in the mail to gigabit fiber and 4G LTE. So going forward, the internet is going to speed up. We're going to see better and faster and cheaper services all across the board.
Here's my problem with that statement. The people that hold that power, the gigabyte, the 4G LTE, a lot of power is placed in the hands of a few, which is a statement that I think needs to be made. And this is not necessarily an argument to what this guy's saying, but that is something that you could probably look at. And if you look at wealth gap in particular and CEO pays and whatnot, there is more and more of a gap where, less people hold more. Sort of thing. And I think that needs to be said aloud.
And that's exactly what these rules, which were, after all, the Clinton-era rules that served us so well, are calibrated to do.
Ajit, if we had stayed with net neutrality and there had been, say, a President Hillary Clinton, where could this have gone? What type of regulation could we see?
There's no question that that kind of FCC would have heavily regulated the internet even further.
How so?
It would have banned, for example, free data offerings by wireless companies, where the wireless company will say you can stream data, music, video, and the like, exempt from any data limits. They would have banned that. They probably would have gotten into price regulation, which is
an interesting
essentially
statement.
the government deciding how these businesses are going to operate. So there's no telling how far they would have gone. It would have been limited only by their own imagination.
Ajit, you're a smart guy. You went to Harvard. You were general counsel for Verizon. You have Jimmy Kimmel calling you names.
Oh.
What'd you think of that?
Oh, you worked at Verizon. Oh, shoot. Well, you don't have any bias at all, do you? No, heavens no. You're unbiased. Right down the middle. You have no self-thought. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense now.
I think it's unbecoming of the seriousness of this debate, but again, it's not surprising. Those on the other side have literally nothing other to peddle than hysteria and misinformation and fear.
Well, literally nothing's a strong statement, but he's rebuttaling to Jimmy Kimmel, who said a pretty strong statement against him. So. About
the light touch approach that we had for most of the internet's existence. So I would hope that people would focus on the facts, but again, given what's transpired over the last several weeks, I'm not surprised at all.
And before you go, the headline over at CNN, end of the internet as we know it. Is that accurate?
It's not accurate at all, but again, that's...
I'm sorry, I have to stop this. Oh, I'll let the video play out. I'll let the video play out.
People can say anything they want, and in some cases, they literally do.
Okay. Real quick, though, Ajit. Honest question. Are those teeth fake? I know, it's really off topic, but I just cannot get past how perfect and white they are. They are a damn, you see how much it takes for these teeth right here? See this? They're not perfect white, and I've got studio lights looking at me. I've got the correct angles. I got nice camera. I got a little bit of lighting effects going on here. A little bit of color correction. My fucking teeth don't look like that, okay? You're live on Fox News, and your teeth are fucking stellar, my man. Anyways, that is completely off topic. I hope you enjoyed my little rundown and react, I guess, to this video. Boys and girls, the FCC did a terrible thing here, and there's no unbiased opinion that I can give about that. They just straight up did, and that's my view on it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your... Wow, look at this. Hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time.